All right, I'm going to do Scag Chronicles here, basically a timeline of all the events that unfolded when I purchased my 2021 Scag Liberty Z zero-turn lawnmower. So let's just dive right in it, shall we? This is not going to be a video, or there's no videos, nothing. It's just a single photo. And it's just me yapping about my experience for this whole process. So, on with the show. So back in mid-June 2021, I went to my local gold Scag dealer, the same place where I purchased my previous 48-inch Scag Liberty Z. By the way, this is my third Scag purchase in the last year. So I walked down to my local dealer. Well, I didn't walk, I rode my bike, and one day I took the bus, and the other day I drove. I'm just kidding. I drove down to my local Scag dealer, and I paid $5,000. Well, could just call it $5,150. We'll round it to $5,150. It's the crazy mower. Hey, $5,150 for all you Van Halen, Sammy Hagar listeners out there. You'll get the reference. $5,100 for my Scag Liberty Z zero-turn lawnmower, and they said it was on back order. And they said it could be 2 days or 2 weeks or 2 months. We don't know. But I did also take a delivery that day of the mulch kit, part number 9284. And I said, yeah, the rumor is there's hundreds of Scag chassis that are built, and they're waiting for engines, and there's a big engine shortage going on. So we got the yapping, and he says, yeah, if you need a lawnmower, man, he goes, I'll let you borrow one of my demo mowers. I was like, man, that's friggin' cool. So that was nice. So anyways, I found out that there was another Scag Liberty Z for sale at another dealer, local, about 15 minutes away from the other dealer that I was standing in their showroom. And I said, hey man, this other dealer's got one in stock. It's on their showroom. And he's like, man, that's great. Because what I'll do is I'll contact my Scag rep, and it will transfer it from his store to mine, and then I'll get it to you. So cool. So fingers crossed. I went home that day after spending $5,150 cash and a mulch kit, and I opened up the mulch kit, and I'm like, oh crap, this is the wrong mulch kit. This fits the Velocity decks, not the Hero decks, right? I did some research, and I'm like, oh yeah, I need part number 9294. And he gave me 9284. So I texted the manager, and I informed him. I said, hey, that part number's incorrect, and I got the wrong mulch kit. He's like, no, the part's correct, but the description is wrong. And I was like, no. I looked online again. Sure enough, it didn't match. And I said, are you sure? I said, I'll buy you dinner, man, if I am wrong. But I need part number 9294. And he said, well, let me go grab a laptop and check. And I never heard back from him. No big deal. So the next day, I texted him, and I said, hey, when's a good time for me to return that mulch kit? And I said, well, basically, it doesn't do any good sitting in my garage. If it's the wrong one, it needs to be on your shelf so it's inventory in stock. You can sell it, right? And I also asked, I said, when was or if the Scag rep, if you talked to the Scag rep, were you able to transfer that Liberty Z? And no response. Getting to see a pattern here. So 2 days go by, I let the dust settle a little bit. And I texted him again, the dealer, the manager, and I said, hey, were you able to get that Liberty Z transferred from the other store? Again, no response. Like, okay. So fine, 2 days, 2 more days go by, and I just drove to the store. Yeah, this time I drove, right? Didn't walk. It was too heavy to carry, or else I would have. Good exercise. Drove to the store and returned the mulch kit and inquired about the correct kit, the correct part number. And of course, that was not in stock, and it had to be ordered, and it was on back order. I'm like, oh boy. And it turns out it was more money. Figure that one out. So the manager was there, and I asked him, hey, were you able to get that Liberty Z? Like a week has gone by. Surely I figured I would have got a phone call. He said, no, he was unable to transfer the Liberty Z from the other dealer to his store because the serial number wasn't entered into their computer system. I don't understand what the hell that means, but it's got nothing to do with me wanting to go buy a damn lawnmower, right? It's been sitting on their showroom for at least a week. And the manager of the other store said, yeah, he actually quoted me a lower cash price. I was like, well, wonderful. So then the manager said that my Liberty Z would arrive in a few days and then he would deliver it. I was like, all right, cool. No big deal. Just curious. It is what it is. Next day goes by and I start, I've got a new lawnmower on order. So I'm thinking about parts and accessories. So I'm looking up the canister air filter, that big canister air filter that came on the Patriot as a nice air filter. And I said, hey, would there be any consequence installing that canister air filter from the commercial series engine onto my residential engine for improved filtration? And no response. So 2 days go by, and I actually was in the area passing by, so I just pulled into the joint and walked in. And I said, hey, just checking status. He said it'd be 2 days, and he goes, well, you need to contact a distributor to get status. I was like, okay, well, I'll contact them and see what I can find out. And I said, hey, about that air filter canister, do you have any used ones in the back? Or ones that I can purchase? Maybe. Would there be any issue? And he says, yeah, you'll be fine installing that canister air filter. If there's any engine issues, I'll take care of you. Okay, cool. And he said, you want to take home a mower, a demo mower over the weekend, return it Monday? I was like, hell yeah. So I left the store, I went home, and I picked up my trailer, and I drove back. And I picked up that 2019 Gravely XD 52-inch with a Kohler. I made a video on that. And yeah, picked up a lawnmower over the weekend, demo mower. I got to try out something else. It's cool. So then I emailed the distributor and I inquired about the status of the Liberty Z. And I also fired off a message to Scag, because now I'm curious, like maybe this lawnmower shortage or engine shortage is the real deal. So let me hear it from the horse's mouth. I contacted Scag. I left a message, comment on one of their YouTube videos to inquire about the engine shortage rumor. And they got back with me and they told me to use their contact us form on their website, whatever. So no big deal. So 3 more days go by. Now we're up almost to the end of June. And the distributor responded via email indicating it would be the end of July, a whole nother month, before they get their shipment in. And currently I was number 218. 218 Skags are on back order. Oh crap, this ain't looking good. So now what? So later on that day, I dropped the Gravely off at the dealer and I parked it in the back and went in and got a hold of one of the employees and told them about it, where I parked it and all that, and also took a picture of it. So here it is, timestamp evidence. So 2 more days go by. Now we're at June 30th. And the distributor emailed me again saying, waiting is probably my best option. And if I had any other questions, to contact the sales manager at Scag. I was like, okay, cool. But how do I contact him? You got his number? And yeah, he sent it to me. Whoopsies. Here, contact these guys, So the dealer brushed me off to the distributor. The distributor's now brushing me off and redirecting me to Scag. So June 30th, I emailed Scag and never heard back from them. But later on, I found out there was an email from Scag. It was sitting in my spam folder. And Scag said they talked to the distributor and the distributor's boss, manager, we'll call it distributor's manager, who handles the inventory for the Texas area. And they said to contact the distributor. So the dealer, if you're following me, the dealership told me to contact the distributor. Distributor told me to contact Scag. Scag's now telling me to contact the distributor. Going around and around in circles here. So 2 more days go by. Now we're into July, right? July 2nd, I spoke with Scag on the phone. And Scag said there were still actively, dispatching Skags to the distributor, and that they looked and there should be several Liberties in stock. And Scag said they usually allocate some for dealers, right? So they have some in stock and showroom whatever their inventory is. They'll give you a couple, whatever. But since I'm a prepaid customer, mine should have been shipped like that day. It should be shipped as soon as possible. So apparently, this is from Scag. It says that apparently there was some confusion whether I really wanted this model or not. So they were waiting on the manager at the local dealer for confirmation before they shipped one out. That's BS. I find this interesting because I already paid for it in cash 16 days prior, right? There's no confusion if I want this model when I give you cash over 2 weeks ago. So then I also asked Scag if there was an engine shortage, which he said, man, there's a shortage on everything. And I was like, all right. So basically belts, hoses, everything. There's a shortage here and there. But they're still pumping them out, So I said, well, are there any upcoming changes that in mind, since there's a shortage on supply? Maybe that's going to change the 2022 year model, the looks or parts or engines or something. And I said, what's coming up for the 2022 Liberty Z? And he goes, it's too early to tell, but they might change the engine and hydro options and including another model. So, okay, so I'm starting to see more Briggs pop up. So there might be a Briggs option in a Liberty Z for 2022. Who knows? The hydros things was very interesting. On a side note, I did email Hydro Gear and I never heard back from them. It's probably been over a month. So anywho, I called, I texted the manager. Let's go back here. I'm getting sidetracked here. I emailed the distributor saying, since I'm armed and ready with this new information straight from Scag, I contacted the distributor the same day, July 2nd. I said, hey man, Scag mentioned there were Liberty Z's at your facility and you had them there waiting and allocated for other stores. But you could ship one to my local dealer since I prepaid. And no response. So then I'm like, well, let me fire up a message to the dealer. So I called them. I called the dealers, rather. And it went to their automated system. No live human ever answered the phone. And I have called this dealer over 5 times. Probably 10. Never talked to a live human over the phone. So I texted the manager and I said, hey, Scag says there's Liberties at the distributor and that they were waiting on the manager, i.e. you, to have them send one. So like, hey, kind of trying to light a fire under his ass, like they're waiting on you. And the manager responded and said he would return the following day. I guess he was out of the office on vacation or whatever. And he said he would return later. And Scag told him that there are no Liberties in the whole state. Let me make a correction. There are no 52-inch version Liberty Z's in the whole state. Only 48s. So I was like, all right, well, I said, hey, do you have another demo mower I could use perhaps over the weekend? It was nice and kind for him to give me a lawnmower to play with to mow my lawn. Since we don't know when this thing's going to show up. I was like, hey, the grass is growing like crazy. We had a lot of rain. I was like, do you have another one? And he never responded. So, well, I'm going to pause and take a drink. And this is all one. I'm just reading my notes here. So I'm not editing this at all. I'm just reading and chiming in and just telling it like it is. But I do need a sip of water. So, and now's a good time for you to take a sip of water if you have some water, right? Okay. Where was I? All right. So that was July 2nd, right? So we're on to July 6th. I texted the manager at the local dealer and I said, hey, do you have a demo wood chipper? Trying to be funny, but hell, maybe I can take advantage of those couple tree branches that are down in the back. Do you got a demo chipper? No response, of course. What was I thinking, right? I also tried calling them again over the phone and never got to speak to a live human. So I actually texted him. I said, hey, I cannot get through to your phones at all. And no response via text either. So, geez. So I emailed Scag same day, July 6th, and I said, hey, I'm curious now because you said, and I just was reconfirming what Scag said. I said, per our phone conversation there, Scag, you were saying, just to make sure we're clear, you were confirming that there are still Skags being actively shipped and that there's a Scag ready to be shipped from the distributor to go to my local dealer. And that was the conversation that you had with the distributor's manager, and that it would be arriving soon since I was a prepaid customer. Scag replied, said he didn't speak with the distributor's manager, and that conflicts with what he typed in the above email. And then he told me to give the distributor a call. And Scag says, once a unit leaves our property, it is in the hands of the distributor, i.e. they got their money, they wash their hands, and they don't care. It's your responsibility to follow up with the distributor at that point. Okay. Thanks, but no thanks, whatever. So according to Scag, also continuing on, the GM, I don't know who he is, of the distributor said that he shipped one last Friday to my local dealer. And then Scag said in the last email that he received confirmation from the distributor that, quote, the mower was printed and shipping today to the dealer. And that was at noontime on July 2nd. And then Scag said they also let the distributor know. So Scag is like, we're still busting out lawnmowers. I didn't talk to the distributor's supervisor, but I may have said it above, but no big deal. But he says, neither here nor there, the mower was left our facility. And that was from, let me go back. That was from the distributor. So Scag is sending out mowers. The distributor has them in stock, and the distributor shipped one to my dealer. Okay, now I'm really pissed. Because the dealer's saying there's none in the state. Scag is like, we got them. The distributor's like, we don't have any, but we've got some for certain customers. And I'm like, yeah, you mean me? Raises my hand. Big paying customer over here 3 weeks ago. So just to confirm, I'm like, all right, Scag, just to make sure that when you say printed and shipping was a Scag for a Scag Liberty Z52, and that was destined for my local dealer. And then I also asked him about the confusion, and I quoted him in this previous email where he said he spoke to the distributor and the distributor's manager about the status of my mower, but now he says he never spoke with the distributor's manager. And Scag replied, yes. That's all he said. Yes. So yes to the mower that was printed and shipped today that left the distributor destined for my dealer. Now that we're still on July 6th here, and this all happened on July 2nd. So he said the unit that left the distributor was my Liberty Z52. It was for me, not regular inventory, not a 48. It was a 52, and it was for me. So it's funny that Scag ignored the comment about the distributor's manager. He didn't chime in on that. No big deal. At least we got something. So now, all right, it's July 6th. And 4 days ago, my damn mower was delivered because the distributor is in the same damn town as the dealer. Yeah, imagine that. 4 days ago, my mower's sitting over there and I never got notified. So I'm curious, like, okay, what's really going on? So I tried calling the local dealer. Guess what? Hell no, I didn't get through. So I texted him and I said, hey, call me when you can. Scag says the Liberty was shipped and it's at your facility. No response. July 6th, same day, I emailed the distributor saying, hey, Scag says your mower. This is funny. Let me stop right here for a second. The distributor didn't even know they had shipped my lawnmower 4 days ago. And they're saying that there's no Skags in stock. We're 218 on back order. There's no 52-inch Liberty Zs in the whole state of Texas. But somehow they shipped one 4 days ago to my dealer. This is friggin'... Now you know why I'm making this damn video? I just want to... You can't make this shit up. This is why I took notes on this. I could write a book, but I figured I'd rather talk to you in a little podcast and make it quicker. Anyways. Oh, I lost my spot on the page here. So I emailed the distributor saying, hey, Scag says the mower was shipped and it's at the dealer. Could you confirm this? Like, hey, you shipped the mower. Do you not know what you shipped or what you did? Can you just verify that, please? So, I mean, Scag's saying one thing, but they're not there. I figured if you have the inventory in stock and you ship something, you would know, right? I didn't get a reply. So the next day, we're on July 7th now. I emailed the local dealer via website, and there's a little drop down where you can select store manager, and the email will go right to him. And again, I asked him, please call me. And I said, my lawnmower should be at your facility. And now 5 days, it should be at your facility. I don't know if you like holding stock around, but figured I would get a phone call, something. Nothing. Zero, zilch, nada. July 8th, email sent to the distributor requesting an update because I emailed him 2 days prior and just asking for confirmation that a Liberty Z52 was shipped from his facility on July 2nd and that now the local dealer manager was not responding, and no response from the distributor. Called the local dealer twice. No live human answered either time. I did leave voicemail asking for the manager to please call me, and also left a voicemail saying that the Liberty Z should be at your facility, and I even offered to come pick it up and assemble it myself. No response. Hindsight, I should have picked it up and assembled it myself. You'll see later. So, and we're almost done. We're almost done, don't worry. So we're still on July 8th. I fired off another email to the distributor, this time to the distributor's manager, inquiring about the status of the Liberty Z, because now I'm getting a runaround. At this point, 23 days ago, I put cash in the hands of the manager at the local Scag dealer, which he did tell me that the items were on back order. But he said it could be within 2 days. He kept updating me. 2 days, 2 days, 2 days. Contacted distributor. Everybody punted me off and handed me off and round and around in circles we went. Nobody knew friggin' who was doing what. So bottom line, I emailed the distributor manager, and I got an email back that evening, like way after business hours. And the distributor's manager replied and said the distributor is checking on the mower status. So another guy is checking on the status. At that same moment that the distributor's manager replied to me, I also received an email from the distributor. Exact same time. And he confirmed that, yes, we did ship your lawnmower to the local dealer. And it arrived on, guess what, July 2nd. And that the manager was out of pocket, but they would reach out to him tomorrow to check his status. And I said, all right, well, thank you. Cool. Which, I have text messages from the manager. Yeah, he was out, but he had returned. So they were trying to cover up for him. He had been back for 3 days already. Anywho, so I text the manager. Now I've got confirmation from Scag that the unit was shipped. Scag is several states away, yet they know what they send to their distributor, right? Distributor doesn't even know what the hell's going on. And the managers of the local dealers relying on the distributor for their information. Meanwhile, the damn thing's sitting outside for a week in the rain. So it's funny is Miss Jello and I happened to drive by after business hours, and I see on a crate outside a Scag lawnmower, and it's under plastic, and it's raining, and it rained the day before, and it rained the day after. Jokingly, and this is probably like on the 3rd, just before the 4th of July, and thank God it rained, right? It's always nice to have wet grounds, especially when people are launching fireworks and you live out in the sticks. So we saw a Scag under a cover on, in the crate under the plastic. But you can see Scag through the back, and I was like, wouldn't that be some shit? I'm like, holy shit, they have a Scag in stock. Wouldn't that be funny if that was my mower? It was. It was my damn mower sitting out in the rain. And yeah, it got wet because the owner's manual was wet, along with, let's see, I still have them on the desk here, airing out. Oh, a little tag, a couple different tags, and warranty, and the Kawasaki man. It was all wet. So, anyways. And it had not rained the next couple days. Well, take that back. The day I picked it up, it had rained. But not when it went from inside of the facility to my trailer to my house. So that means that, yeah, it's been there. So, yeah, going back to the last few notes here I have. I texted the manager now, and I said, hey, I called, I left a voicemail, I emailed, I can't get a hold of you. Scag and the distributor are saying that the unit was confirmed, shipped, and delivered to your facility. And holy shit, I got a response from him. The manager responded and said, yeah, he's back. He was on vacation. And he is 3 people short. And he will have it ready for pickup by 11 a.m. the following day. Cool. Hallelujah. I actually have a mower. It's here. Oh my God. Finally. That was all unnecessary BS. But so yeah, I had to go pick it up. He said he'd deliver it, but not a big deal. After all this crap, I'll gladly go pick it up. So the following day, July 9th, for all you people that want to track the mower or whatever. Who is this guy? Let's see who sold a Scag in July 9th. You know who it is. Don't worry. They watch. Scag watches my videos. People from the dealership watch my videos. And it's, it is what it is. I can't make this shit up. This is a real world experience of purchasing a lawnmower in 2021. You can pull the COVID card. You can do this. You can do that. It is what it is. The customer service these days has just really gone downhill in all aspects, on everything. It's just emails are pretty much almost worthless these days, and even phone calls. But anyways, the last line here, 7/9/2021, July 9th. I arrived at the dealership, 11 a.m. on the dot. Went inside, said, hey, I'm here to pick up the Liberty Z52. And he goes, yeah, was it here for service? I said, no, it just came in. And I said, well, it just came in on the 2nd. It's been here for a week. Surely you guys are tripping all over the damn thing. Not when it's sitting up in the rack outside getting pissed on. That's what I'm thinking to myself, what I really wanted to say. Yeah, sure, I'll be right back. 15 minutes later, I'm standing in the lobby, and the guy comes back. He goes, yep, they're attaching the battery cable now. You know what that means? They forgot to assemble it. Now, Scag PDIs, there is not much to do on a Scag. They come pretty much assembled. Anybody that works at a dealership that takes delivery of a Scag that puts these things together knows that. It's a lot less involved than, say, assembling a Gravely, all right? Now, so the unit wasn't not even removed from the crate. They started assembling it, and I went outside, and I brought my trailer around, and when I went outside, I still saw them in the back, and it was still literally sitting on the crate. They cut all the tie wraps, and they pulled the little bag with the manual and the extra key and the little Scag keychain and all the little cute shit, and cut the tie wrap and from the seat and watched them start the unit up and drive it right off the crate. And then the engine died. Oh, great. They're sitting here turning that key for 5 minutes, man. Oh, shit. Now, they're approximately 20 feet away. I'm standing at the entry to the garage, and they're like tucked in the back. And the music is so friggin' loud, man. They got it cranked. they're yelling at each other. I can hear them, but they can't hear me, like if I even yelled into there. So I tried to point out to them. I didn't want to just walk up in there, so I was like, hey, I'm pointed at the fuel. I'm like, the fuel switch. The fuel switch was off. So they put gas in it, and they finally figured it out, and they fired up full throttle, you know, oh, Jesus Christ. And so they drive it outside, and they drive it up onto the trailer. Well, right before they did that, they actually lowered the throttle a little bit. They engaged the PTO, make sure the blade spun, and then turned it off, and then back full throttle up the damn ramp and into my trailer, and then shuts it off full throttle. That's a whole nother discussion. You don't need to shut this off full throttle. Okay. It's got a fuel solenoid that, no. Anyways. So, finally, I strapped it down. I took a photo of it, and I texted the manager. I said, thank you. No response, right? If you could count the times I said no response in this. Wow. So as I was strapping it down, the employee came back outside, and he handed me another receipt. And I was like, oh, I already got one. And he said, oh, this one has a serial number on it. And I was like, all right, thanks, man. I said, hey, is the manager on site? And he goes, yeah, he's in the back. And I said, well, you tell him I said thank you very much. And that's it. I pulled out of the parking lot about 30 minutes later, 11:30 in the morning. Got it home. And, oh, here we go. Found more issues. When somebody forgets to put a lawnmower together and they have to put it together in a hurry, hey, customer's here to pick it up. Oh, you mean that one that's still strapped in a crate? Yeah, let me get a forklift and let me bring it down here and that's not what you want. So, issues, what did I find? Low oil, little to no oil. The oil level was on the bottom of the stick where it says add. It was right on that line. And tires were overinflated. There's a loose battery cable. The control arms were not attached properly. One of them was so loose that when I tried to operate the machine outside, I pushed it forward and it was loose as a goose. And I made a video on that. Like, here, look. Oh, it looks like this is stripped. Oh, it is. It's it wasn't even installed properly. It wasn't tightened. Jesus. So yeah, there's a whole video on that. What to expect when you purchase a Scag in 2021. So Scag makes good stuff. You compare it to the other companies out there, and the Scag's good. Now there's a lot of other companies that are kicking ass and taking names that are stepping up to the plate, and really good bang for the buck out there. So Scag's reputation, I hate to say it, is going downhill, and it's everybody. You know, as an end user, you purchase a lawnmower for $5,000, you expect to mow the lawn with it. Now, say I go out there and I try to mow the lawn and I bend that arm down, and now I can't even drive the damn thing. And what am I supposed to work on this thing? You know, I mean, some people are handy with tools, and some people, it's a brand new mower. You shouldn't have to touch the damn thing, right? So it's everyone's responsibility in the end. It's Scag's responsibility. The hydros, I had an issue with hydros on my previous mower. There was no hydro fluid in the reservoir. There was some in the hydros, but not enough. It wasn't it wasn't right. And then the dealer's responsible for making sure all these things are done. The PDI, pre-delivery inspection. You're supposed to set the tire pressure. You're supposed to level the deck and make sure everything's right. Tighten that battery cable. I mean, there's so many issues, so everyone's in on it. It is Scag's responsibility. Everybody needs to step up to the plate and be responsible for it. But if you've got somebody that's looking at the clock every 15 minutes waiting to go home or go to lunch, they probably shouldn't be putting together lawnmowers where somebody could potentially get seriously hurt. Not to mention, what am I supposed to do? Drive it back up on the trailer? Bring it back to the dealer? Say, hey, this is broken, this is broken. I should have, because this is my third Scag that's had similar problems. Anyways, we're going to wrap this up. I'm not trying to tell you not to buy a Scag, but it's sad that it's come to this, but this is just a quick little podcast, the Scag Chronicles of purchasing a Scag, my experience of purchasing a Scag lawnmower in 2021. So I hate to see Scag's reputation go downhill, but I'm This is the third time in a year. So there's obviously something going on. And Scag's looking at this like once it leaves our facility, it's the distributors and the dealers' problems. And that's, I don't know. I want somebody that'll stand behind the product that they manufacture. And I want a dealer that'll answer their phones. I don't care if they're a gold dealer or what their status is. That's between them and Scag. They're selling units, they're getting their money, that's fine. But when it comes to the end user, ultimately where this product is going, the customer, the paying customer, and that experience is bad or subpar, then we need to hear the people that spend this hard-earned money need to make it known and voice and make a quick video. Everybody's got cell phones that can take 4K video these days, for Christ's sakes. Get your Facebook or YouTube account and just say, hey. And don't only post the negative, post the positive as well. We need the both sides of the coin here. But when I flip this coin up in the air and it's landing on tails more than it is heads, then it's time to play another game. And with that, I thank you for listening. Take care, and we'll see you on the next one.